Hi, my name's Kev. I'm going to give you a bit of a talk about equipment I'm going to take with me for a jungle trek. I haven't said welcome yet, so welcome to Laos. This is a village in Laos, not so sunny there at the moment, as you can see through the pictures there. So, no sort of particular order, I'm just going to talk you through some of the items that I take with me. So, what have we got? So, these items over here are my wet kit, effectively. So this is what I'll be trekking in. So what I tend to use for socks are kind of long ones, you can see here. I've pre-treated these with a chemical to keep the insects from getting in, i.e. and the leeches, etc. So the long socks go up to my knees. And the other one, underwear I take, is kind of almost like a cycling short, because they just stop shaking. Shirts are great, I feel, than anything else. This one's a size bigger than what I need, and it will if it gets caught up on any sort of the foliage, it will tear that, not me. Trousers. Now these are kind of like a combat trouser or a cargo pants. Yeah, quite straightforward. Again, these both have been pre-treated. The other thing I have as well is a bit of a sweatband. It's something we used to use in the military. Have it around your neck like so, tie a little knot in it, and if you get a little bit sweaty you can wipe it out of your eyes. And it's also, if you've got insect repellent on, that burns your eyes quite profusely. So again, having one of these is good. Or you can go all Rambo, stick it around your head, whatever you prefer. I do take waterproofs with me. There's a jacket in here, I'm not going to get it out because it's a waterproof jacket, you've all seen one. And I tend to only use that when I'm in my base camp. The other thing I have in here, which I will take out, is some gaiters. Now, some people do, some people don't. It's up to you, it's your choice. I like gaiters. Gives you a bit more versatility, stops the mud getting everywhere when you get into your base camp. You can take these off, give them a clean, but you're not getting mud inside your hammock, etc. So, pretty good. Now, what else have we got? So, my hammock is not here, it's away, but it's in a container similar to this. And this is my tarp. The tarp's 3 meters by 3 meters. I feel the bigger, the lighter, the better, so you can get underneath there, especially weather like this, when you're out in this fall, okay? Now, another important thing is water, really, water carriage. So basically, I tend to carry a bladder. This is a 2 litre bladder, and I've got a neoprene cover for it, just to keep the water cool as well. That's up to you. One of the important things I feel is a mouthpiece, and I've got a cover for mine, because if you're dragging that around in the mud when you put your pack off and then stick it in your mouth, it could get problems. Now I've gone on to something pretty new, the MSR, and I'll show a video of how this works later on. Basically, it sucks up water, it goes through a filter system here, straight into your mouth. Pretty quick stuff. Now also, when I'm in my base camp, I've got a bigger water container here, which I can put water into, and then I can make showers from it as well, which is really important. Also, for cleaning your water, it's another old school way of doing it. This is a Milbank bag, and again I'll do another video about how that works. I do take chemicals with me as well as a backup, and this is a liquid chlorine dioxide. I feel the liquid is much better than the tablet, it's a bit more versatile, and again I'll talk about that more on. Now, let's have a look at sort of in-camp dry kit. I'll be carrying that in my rucksack. I've got a silk long sleeve shirt, quite lightweight. This is important, it dries out really, really quickly. I have a thin pair of trousers. Again, this is my dry kit. This is what I'm going to get into when I get into the camp once I've had a wash. I've got another lightweight top. Again, this has been pre-treated with chemicals to keep the bugs off me. Underwear, very similar to the first ones. Pair of shorts, because sometimes it gets that hot, you just probably want it to sleep in those inside your hammock. The other thing I have with me as well is sealed socks. The jungle boots, or whatever boots you're going to wear, to be honest, are going to get wet. And really, ideally, you don't want to be sort of trekking around your camp, not initially anyway, with just your sandals on. You probably want to put your boots back on, and they're wet, you just put your dry socks and pads of your feet, seal socks if you can afford it. Okay, good. I've got a sleeping bag, and also I've got a silk liner. Now, I'm here for a few days now, just having a look at the weather conditions and see what that's like, and I'll decide whether I want to take a quilt or just my liner, which is just silk liner. If it's really hot at night, just silk liner will do. But again, if it gets cooler, then you've got the option to get a bit warmer. I also take trekking poles with me. Just gives you a bit of stability. And then a head torch. Now head torches are bought especially at night. Lots of the creatures come out at night. The other capability you should have on your head torch is a red light capability. A lot of the insects can't see red lights, therefore I'm not going to be attracted to that and be really in trouble effectively. Now, the other thing I carry with me is a machete. Obviously this is a Gerber machete, sponsored by Bear Grylls, sort of induced by Bear Grylls. And it's basically based on the parang, the Southeast Asian parang. Again, there's lots of videos about different cutting tools. The other thing I take with me as well is a saw. This is a silky saw. And then I can do some precision cutting of items, making chairs and whatever you like really, to be honest. But it just saves you winging around one of these things. Okay, the next thing I'm going to show you is basically a small knife that I carry with me as well. Basically a bushcraft knife. And there we are there. It's carbon steel, and also it's got a covering on there because we're in a sort of tropical environment. It can rust quite easily with carbon steel. The other thing that I've done with it as well, it comes in a Kydex sheath, same as my machete does. Again, if you're using levers, they don't work too well in tropical environments, tend to fall apart, so using Kydex is really key. The thing I've got in here as well is a ferrocene rod for firelighting. Little tip for you as well with a ferrocene rod, when you first use it, it's got like a cover to it, and then once you've used it, you remove that cover, and it is sensitive to moisture, so what I tend to do is put some nail varnish on there. I usually find if you've got a mixed team of individuals that you're taking with you, imagine most of the females will probably have that in the kit before we go into the jungle. The thing I've done with my knife as well, I've put a bearing in there from a skateboard, and this I use for when I'm doing fire-by friction. Okay, another tip for you. Now, the thing I want to talk about as well really is sort of keeping bugs off me. Now you can use DEET. What I suggest you do, if you want to use my opinion that is use the 50% DEET. You can get it 100%, pretty aggressive, and it will melt man-made fibres such as your watch strap, even your mosquito net if you happen to be silly enough to put that on there. So I tend to use 50%. Though saying that, I tend to use a eucalyptus and lemon oil. You have to use more of it, but again it's natural chemicals I feel, and that helps, I really sort of down that way of thinking. Now thinking about sort of getting the mosquitoes or biting insects stopping you to bite you, not only that you should be treating your exposed skin, but I also want to disguise myself a little bit as well from my natural smells, so I use a citronella based underarm roll-on deodorant as well, and I believe that helps. Talking about that, your sort of body smells, again I use a citronella based biodegradable soap for when I'm washing in rivers and stuff, and it's got citronella in it. Again, it's hiding me. I'm doing everything I can to stop the bugs from biting me. The other thing I do as well, I carry these sort of wristbands. I also put one on my ankle if I'm in my shorts at the base camp, and there's these little sort of tablets that you place in there, and again they release chemicals such as citronella to stop the insects from being attracted to your smell. The other thing I've got is by bug off candle there with chemicals in it as such as light it, put that in your base camp near where your hammock and tarp is, again to keep the bugs down. So I'm doing everything I can to really sort of hide my human signature. They do like to bite me though. Okay, the other thing I've got here is my rucksack, quite straightforward. There's many different rucksacks around the world. This is my one, quite straightforward. The other thing I have on it is I've got some ranger beads or counting beads, because when we're in the jungle, we do have guides when I go out. Again, I like to sort of do sketch maps and sort of do my pacings and bearings and I'm in there as well, just as a backup system. Okay, so what else have we got? So now I've got my sort of cook system, small titanium pot. Got an elastic band holding it together. Again, this is pretty useful for fire lighting as well if you want to sacrifice it for that. Bit of aluminium here to put my burner on, and the burner I'm using is an alcohol burner. Small thing like this, okay, and it's got a tube on there with the alcohol in a container, and basically feed that in there, and you've got your fire. Chuck it on, quite straightforward. I only take a small mug with me. Now this is a small thermos, so you know if I get distracted for whatever reason, put the top back on now. I'll come back. I've still got a hot brew. Inside this, I've got some tablets here, which are basically minerals and salts in there. I usually find when I come in finishing the trek, I do need a little bit of a top of more minerals from the amount of sweating I do, and then just a fold up titanium spoon what lives inside there as well. Another thing I've invested in just lately as well is this tree table, and that basically with some straps, you strap that around your tree, and then you're cooking. I'll put this a little bit closer so you can see it. You strap that around the tree, and then you can place your cooking system on top of here, and then you've got hooks to put your your spork on, or even your head torch or something like that. And then you're cooking at a decent height without sort of squatting around in the jungle floor. Cut it down. Okay, some other items we've got to show you. I talked about the pacer beads here, and then with that I've got a compass. Now with this compass it's got a mirror. Now moving on to something else with that, the mirror is good for signalling, using it as a heliograph. There has been a case in a jungle in Borneo where some individuals got lost and had to use an heliograph to signal to get rescued. Also with the mirror as well, if you get something in your eye, no one else to treat you, you can see your own eye with that. So again, it's got several uses now, so multiple use item. On here I've got a whistle. Now it's really important, you can get split up from your group quite easily. You get quite stressed in that situation. Losing your voice takes about 20 minutes, so having a whistle to raise the alarm is probably more effective. This is called Fox 40, around about 120 decibels, pretty good. A light as well, key. This is just a thumbnail torch. So again, these can all live around your neck if necessary. Talking about the pacer beads, to help you, I haven't got the best memory in the world, you've got a way of counting your paces. Now the other thing I've got in here, again, talking about sort of distress signals, contrast and movement. As you can see, in the environment that we're in, that colour will contrast quite well. So again, and if I'm having it sort of on a tree, we can use that as making some sort of signal device. And as you find when you do go on jungle treks, you'll find areas which are open for whatever reason, through logging, even for the locals randomly putting a football pitch in the middle of a jungle trail. The other thing I haven't put on there as well is a marker pen. Really key, probably a bigger one than this to be honest, and you can, if you are lost or confused, you can mark trees with this. Ideally as well, the old sort of typical jungle thing is putting notches in trees with your parang or your machete. But doing this is definitely man-made, isn't it, if you're putting sort of pointers on trees. And then if you are lost and people are out looking for you, then no, definitely that is human-made. Another part of my equipment is a small laser pen. You can see this is pretty small. Now it's got, again, a few uses for this. If you're with guides, they usually have the tendency of picking up items, i.e. snakes, spiders, just for the effect. I don't like that because it just adds to the risk of getting injured a bit more. So I talk to my guides and say, look, use my laser pen. If you see something, point it out. Then you're going to sort of see it pretty simply there. The other one as well, we've looked at the signalling items as well. This is another good bit of kit for using if you are at night, pointing that through the trees, up through the canopy, and again you've got that laser pointer. It's got to be a human, hasn't it? So if you are lost, that's another way of making you see in a jungle environment, which is a difficult thing. Okay, other items I have with me as well. I've got a small telescope with me. Some of the wildlife out there, it is difficult to see. It's going to be in the canopy. So give you a good opportunity then to see these items. Do take a small pair of binoculars or a telescope like I've got here, just to help you see some of the flora and fauna, what's out there. The item I've got here, this is called the Krill. Basically it's like a chem stick, or glow stick, whatever you want to call it. It's got batteries in there, you turn it around, this will light up. Again, for marking your sort of basher area. Also, again, for signaling, you put this on a piece of string and wad it around. There's videos out there to show you how to do that. But again, another good bit of kit to have. This is basically a small sort of washing line I've got here. So when you get into your camp, you can hang out all your wet kit. It's not going to fully dry, but you're going to take some of it off. Small bowl here, quite straightforward, just a folding bowl for washing up your kit, washing up yourself, etc. Here I've just got a bit of duct tape, Gorilla Tape, whatever you want to call it, in here. This is a deodorant, so quite small. Again, like I said, it's got citronella in there to help me. Looking after your teeth is really important when you're in there. People tend to forget that. So a small floss. Again, also this can be used as some sort of cordage or even repairing your clothing as well, pretty tough. Again, other items there for cleaning your teeth with. Now, you may have bought canned items, which I don't suggest you do because they're quite heavy. We've got a small can opener here to open those, and if you're lucky enough to come across a small village on your trail and you fancy a beer, and then you've got a way of opening it safely. Again, this is a small way of me carrying my eucalyptus and lemon on as a spray. In here is some foot powder. There's medicated foot powder because if you wasn't aware, most of us carry the fungus on us. Give it the right environment, it will become rampant. So again, this is kind of like a Mycota foot powder. But again, I don't need a great deal of this, enough to pad my feet off when I get into camp at night. Again, just sort of a little bit of dental hygiene, and just I've got some mints there just to, you know, it's more for everyone else than it is for myself, to be honest. And again, a small container of my citronella-based soap there to carry with me and such. So you can see that it's all quite compact, quite small. And then also a travel towel, I tend to cut them in half and just use a half of a travel towel with me when I'm in the jungle and such, because I'm wet all the time. It's usually when we finish the trek, get in the river, and it's really sort of drying off areas that I need to dry off, such as my feet and maybe my crotch and armpits, that type of thing. Okay, next thing we're going to show you is kind of my fire lighting kit. It's quite small and it's there really sort of to get, you know, warm you up in the evenings or even cook on, but it doesn't have to be massive. So, no particular order. We've got a butane lighter here. The reason why I like that, it's hotter than a regular lighter, so it gives you more chance of igniting stuff. Saying that though, I've got the smaller items there, like book matches there, the waterproof matches inside here as well. Then also going a little bit sort of bushcrafty and old school, I've got my chapstick here, which is basically petroleum jelly. And then I've got a tampon, which is just pure cotton wool. Mix these two together, put a spark on these or a flame, and then you've got your tinder effectively. Talking about tinder, which I think not a lot of people tend to use these days. This is called fat wood. Basically it's pine, and you get into that, and it's got the pine resin on there. If you make this into a triangle shape at the top there, you can light that with a lighter and it will burn like a candle. Now a lot of people tend to use candles, so this has got multiple uses, and it smells amazing as well, so ideal. You can shave this off, put a spark into it and get it to ignite as well. Very versatile. Look on YouTube and you'll see a lot of videos of people using fat wood. Very important. And it's waterproof, most important in jungle environments. Talk about waterproof fire lighters, bit of inner tube. Go to your bike shop, your local bike shop, and they'll give you this for nothing, because it's obviously old inner tubes which have been damaged, and they'll give for nothing. Good for cutting into small sections and making bands from, tying, you know, putting things onto your kit, holding them on there. Ranger bands is kind of a common name for them. Then again, most of you have seen one of these fire steels, ferrocene rod, ideal for getting a spark. This is just another type of ferrocene rod there, and it's a magnesium block as well on top here. Take the shavings off, ignite it with a ferrocene rod. Gives you a chance of making fire. Talking about that as well, candles, another sort of classic way of making fires. Now this one has got citronella in it, so it's got a secondary use. So I can use this in a campsite to keep the bugs away. I can light fires with it. I can also use this for waterproofing matches. and even doing some minor repairs as well on clothing equipment. Once you've sewn it up, you can sort of hold it, bind it together with a little bit of wax as well. It doesn't last very long time, but you know, every chance you've got to use the kit you have. Okay, so footwear. What I tend to take with me is a basic sample like this. Now, you can use this for river crossings if you really had to, and definitely in your base camp. Now, be very careful if you're using this type of footwear in a base camp or even river crossings. You've still got a danger of biting animals out there as such. It doesn't give you much protection, and also the thorns as well. So, but however, you want to get out your boots at the end of the night. If you've done your risk assessments and everything looks fine and you've spoken to your guides, you could do that. And they're pretty small, pretty lightweight. Now, your main footwear is going to be your jungle boot. Many out there, up to you to do your research, really find your favourites. These are made by Salomon, basic suede bottom and then a synthetic upper, which is thin. And you can just about see those on the side. It's got holes in there to let the water out of and doing river crossings. And that's really what jungle boots are about. They are designed to get wet, let the water out, and there they are. The modern boots that you buy nowadays tend to have a membrane in there to keep the moisture out. Jungle, you're going to get wet, you can do plenty of river crossings. A jungle boot is the way to go. And again, it's high, it's giving you protection as well from any sort of biting into animals that are out there.